started life running a sawmill.
Things look bad. I'll have to diversify. Why don't I make something with all this wood I'm sawing up? Ah, that looks good. Yeah, who could resist this beautiful thing? Uh-oh, looks like everyone can. Never mind carriages. Everyone needs to sleep, don't they? And I'll build one of those little contraptions to lower the bedsteads down to ground level. Hey, mister, you want to buy a bed?
Forget the bed, buddy. Can you make me one of those elevating contraptions? It looks very safe.
Otis's first commission resulted from an accident at a nearby factory where a primitive lift had killed 2 men. He never lived to see the success of his lifts, dying of diphtheria while his company was still deeply in debt.
Diversification will be the death of me.
Otis's first lifts were all built to carry freight, but in 1856 a department store called E.V. Horvath commissioned a passenger lift, advertised as a vertical railway. It was gradually realised that lifts could enable developers to increase the height of their buildings. Previously, 5 stories had been about the most that anybody was prepared to climb. Skyscrapers, like the Woolworth building in New York, finished in 1913, had become totally dependent on their lifts.
One aspect of these lifts that caused alarm was the way the car was supported. In Otis's original lift, the rope was firmly fixed to a drum at the top, but as buildings got higher, there was more rope to wrap round, and it started to get tangled. By 1900, the end of the rope was normally being fixed to a large counterweight and merely passed over the drum at the top, gripping it by friction. At first, this seemed very daring. Surely the rope might slip. But in fact, the friction of a rope passing over a pulley like this is considerable. Capstan winches use this effect to lift enormous loads. Just wrapping the rope round once, although the capstan's completely smooth, I can lift wrecks off the ground quite easily. And as capstans are normally used, if I wrap it a few times round, I can lift him off the ground with no effort at all.
Even wrapped round once, the friction is enough to stop a lift rope ever slipping. Lifts still use this arrangement with the motor at the top and the counterweight on one side and the lift itself on the other.
Once this idea of balancing the weight of the lift with a counterweight had been accepted, it had the advantage that it greatly reduced the power needed to make the lift work. I've added an extra 4 stone to balance my weight with Rex's exactly, and we should now be able to go up and down quite effortlessly. Okay, ready?
There we go. Up I go.
Whoops. Whoops. You're going to hang on this time.
Another major improvement introduced in the 1890s was wire rope. Compared to the hemp rope used previously, it has incredible strength. This is a testing rig for ropes. The rope is fixed in a steel frame and then pulled by an enormous hydraulic ram.
This rope broke at a load of 124 tons. That's equivalent to supporting nearly 2,000 people. So that means that each one of these wires could support 5 or 6 people before it breaks.